point.
So I'll go ahead with introductions. Good morning. Thank you all for being here this morning. This is our Spring ISD Summer Bridge program. I am Dr. Mason, college counselor at Carl Winchie Senior High School, and it is a pleasure for me to be part of facilitating to you guys a program that's designed just to give you some information. Of course, we're going to have lots of information for you guys for throughout the year, but to give you some information about some colleges and universities, maybe to help answer some questions that you all may have. We have two college recruiters to present this morning at 9 a.m. to you guys. I'm going to introduce them one at a time. So the first one that we are seeing today is Ms. Brooke Morgan. She is a recruiter for University of Houston, Victoria. So I'm going to yield the floor and let her give you some information. And thank you all again for coming. I'm sure she's excited to talk with you guys.
Good morning, y'all. Can y'all see my presentation okay? Does it look right on y'all screen? Can y'all see me?
Yes, we can see you.
I can see
y'all can see my PowerPoint as well?
Yes, we see it.
Okay, awesome. I'm always so paranoid that it's not going to come through. Okay, well, let's get started. Welcome. I'm Brooke Morgan. I am the student recruitment manager for the Houston and Dallas-Fort Worth markets for the University of Houston, Victoria. And while I do manage the recruiters in Houston, I do actually work with students in the North Houston territory. So if you're a Spring ISD student, then you're one of mine. I'm really excited to introduce y'all to UHV today. If you're unfamiliar with UHV as a school, we are the newest and the smallest school in the University of Houston system. We were founded in 1973. And UHV started honestly as an education access school. Before 1973, the people in Victoria, Texas, and the surrounding region didn't have an institution where they could earn a four-year bachelor's degree. So we were created specifically for that reason. And since we aren't actually in Houston, we're in Victoria, I thought it might be helpful to give y'all a little bit of a geography lesson this morning. So if you're not familiar with Victoria, we're about 150 miles southwest of Houston along the 59 corridor. Victoria, once you get there, is a pretty small city. It's not anything like Houston. We have a population of about 50 to 60,000 people. So if you're looking for a place to go to school that's a little bit smaller, a little bit slower paced, Victoria is definitely a good option. We're pretty centrally located in relation to other big cities in Texas. So we do get a ton of students from the Houston area. But if you're have friends in San Antonio, or if you have friends in Austin, we're less than 150 miles away from those cities. So we do get a students from those areas as well as our students love to visit the Gulf of Mexico and those other cities just as a big getaway, because sometimes Victoria, you want to go back to the whenever you look at UHV as an institution and you ask the students who go there, if you ask the students why they picked UHV, you usually come down to four different categories or four different reasons why a student chose UHV and chose to be a Jaguar. And the big four categories would be personal attention. We're a really small school. We have just over 4,000 students enrolled, but we're a public school. So we have public affordability, but personal attention of a small institution. Students will also usually pick us for convenience. We have a lot of technology-based teaching modalities, a lot of different degree plans that are catered to the modern student who likes to learn in modern ways. And then also we have a lot of unique traditions. UHV is a new school, so our campus culture was founded as an education access school, was founded as a first-generation serving institution. So we have a lot of unique teaching traditions, and being so new and only having freshmen on campus for such a short time, a lot of those traditions are still being formed. We have a phrase at UHV, it's called make your mark, and we really, really, truly believe that new students who come to UHV can make their mark and make traditions just like the students who founded the school. So we're going to talk about just all of the 4 different reasons that students pick UHV, and I like to start with the one that's for most families the most important, which is affordability. UHV is one of the most affordable schools in Texas. If you're a full-time student, you only take 12 hours, but we typically recommend that freshmen take at least 15 hours or 5 classes their first semester. So our estimated cost calculator that you're going to see on the screen is based on what you're recommended to take as a student. So 15 hours is around $4,000 for tuition and fees. And then our housing options. So if you are a Houston area student, you are required to live on campus whenever you get to Victoria. We do have a lot of we have 3 different residence halls on campus, and they're all kind of in this community called Jaguar Village. We see most of our students living in Jaguar Hall. And there's a single occupancy room and a double occupancy option. Y'all, this year was very, very different. We're not doing any double occupancy rooms in order for students to stay safe whenever they're deciding to come to campus, but we're also not charging them the single occupancy rate. So regardless of whether or not a student signed up for a single occupancy room, they are being given that, and everyone's going to be charged the double occupancy rate. So a little bit of a discount. We're trying really hard to make sure that people feel comfortable both financially and in their health if they choose to come back to campus. I'm not sure next year what this is going to look like. Hopefully all of this is over, right? And we can go back to normal life, which means that you can have a roommate again and you can be in a double occupancy room, or if you still want your privacy, you can do single occupancy. So you'll see the prices for both. Whenever you live on campus, you are also required to have a meal plan, so that'll be about $2,000. And like, y'all, that's it. That's all you really pay for in college. Like, obviously you have your books and a few other bills that you have to pay, but as far as what you owe UHV, this is it. You'll notice that it doesn't cost anything to park your car or anything like that, so that's all free. So these are your costs to us. So you're looking at about $9,000 a semester, about $18,000 for the year. So when you're looking at a 4-year program, a 4-year degree with a bunch of like awesome opportunity, we're a really affordable school, especially given the size of our institution. And the size of our institution is why a lot of students pick it. Personal attention is huge for the first generation student, which is what a lot of our students are. We really, really believe that every student's educational progress is personal, which means that not every degree plan, not every class, not every modality is going to fit every student equally. And we kind of do keep a staff on campus that's 100% committed to an individual student's needs. So you have me, Brooke. I am your recruiter, and I'm here to help you all the way through the admissions process. But once you're actually on campus and once you're actually enrolling in classes, you also get the student success coach. So a student success coach is with you from your very, very first day at UHV to help you schedule your classes, and they're with you all the way through your sophomore year. We typically see that that is when students need the most guidance in college, whenever they're new at it, which makes tons of sense. And so we give you the same person for your first 2 years, which we think is really helpful in developing relationships. Now, remember, we're a really small school. We have about 300 freshmen every year and 3 to 4 student success coaches. So whenever you're looking at advising ratios, you really do have the opportunity to create a big relationship with both me, your recruiter, and your student success coach. And as far as the lessons and as far as the things that we hope you gain from these relationships, these your student success coach is not only going to help you schedule your classes, they're going to help you learn the necessary skills that you need to be successful in college. Like, your success coach can see your grades. They can see what classes you're struggling in. They can see where you need help. And they also know what resources are available to you on campus. I think sometimes students, they're in the mix of it and they're doing the whole college thing and they don't realize that maybe they need help. So your student success coach is really there to watch after you. They're also going to encourage you to get involved in campus and in the community. Learning in the classroom is awesome and hanging out in your dorm room is awesome, but really big life lessons, especially in college, come from being involved. So you're going to have a lot of encouragement to do that. And then also the thing that success coaches do, and I hope I get to do for you, we want to help you set attainable goals. Again, every student's educational progress is very, very different. Some people want to be doctors. Some people want to be lawyers. Some people want to get PhDs. Some people want to take over the world. And like, that's a really, really big goal. And so you don't know where to start. I think success coaches and recruiters do a really good job of just meeting students where they are, breaking goals down into weekly goals, into semesterly goals, into academic year goals, so that you're just not so intimidated by all the awesome things that you want to do. So the first step in attaining your goals is probably to get a degree. And so we have a ton of different degree options available to you. UHV's academic catalog is broken into 3 different schools. So we're going to start with the most general one, the School of Arts and Sciences, which has the largest number of degree offerings. And it's kind of divided into 3 other categories. So you have arts and humanities, and these are for all of the students who are a little bit creative in spirit. One of the most unique degrees to UHV is the Applied Arts and Sciences degree. We do have a lot of students who transfer to UHV, and a lot of them transfer from community colleges. So if that's the route that you're taking, if that's the route you're considering, you'd be with a lot of like company. But a lot of our students will start off in technical schools, and it's kind of rare to find a university that will accept technical credit. So if that is a path that you're considering, we do have a degree plan that you can get an Applied Arts and Sciences bachelor's after technical school, which is really unique. Other things, if you're a creative person, you want to work in communication or public relations or public administration, we have a really good degree plan for that. Communication design, if you're want to be a social media influencer, if you want to work online, if you want to do digital marketing and branding, communication design's awesome for that. And then some of our more creative degrees like music and history and English and drama, I think sometimes those unique arts are actually really, really nice. You're a little bit less intimidated. You feel a little bit safer in small classrooms. You feel like you can really express yourselves. There's no boundaries whenever you're in a small classroom. So you're encouraged to be weird and creative. If you are more interested in the science, technology, and mathematics side of thing, the other side of the brain, we have a few degree plans as well. I would say that this is where a lot of our students fall, is in the science, technology, and mathematics department. Biology is huge with us. We have really good research opportunities as well as a good pre-med track within biology. And again, because we're so small, you get a lot of personal attention in sciences, which is often what students need. It's usually science and mathematics, where a smaller classroom is beneficial. So we do pride ourselves in that. We have a phenomenal digital gaming and computer design program. They're 2 separate programs, but there's a lot of overlap for the first 2 years. So you can talk to your student success coach about which degree plan is probably better for you. But if you've always wanted to be a digital game designer, or if you've always wanted to work with computers, this is a really good opportunity to do that. We also have some student organizations affiliated with it. So robotics and things like that, where you actually get to compete with other schools and do the whole technology thing. Social and behavior sciences, I love degree plans like this because it really does satisfy both the person who's interested in being creative and what makes people interesting, but you also want some clinical, you kind of want some science, like you kind of want people to know that you know what you're talking about. So our social and behavior sciences is all the degree plans that offer that. Moving on to our next school is the School of Business Administration, and these degrees are locked and like they're really tight knit. They have special curriculum. They're pretty rigorous. So we have accounting, finance, marketing, and management as our big ones. And we all know what those are. If you like to work in the business field, if you want a corporate career, then these are really good options for you. We see a lot of students who know that they have an entrepreneurial spirit. They know that they want to hustle. They want to make that money. So general business is a really good place to start. If you are thinking about a business administration degree, a general business degree, that's awesome. But we do encourage all of our students to specialize in something. So economics, healthcare administration, human resource management. International business is really popular with us. I think sometimes students think that if you're going to study abroad, it means you have to be studying like a foreign language or an art degree. That's not true. Our international business students go to China every year. They did not go this year, but it is typically a study abroad option for those students. And then we also have supply chain management. So if logistics is your interest, then that's a really good degree plan. One other thing that I'll say, all of our School of Business programs are AACSB accredited. You'll hear that schools have different levels of accreditation, and it's hard to tell what is good versus what is not good. When it comes to business, that can be particularly tricky because it's a bunch of business people. They know how to sell stuff, so how can you trust them? But accreditations are a good place to look, and AACSB is, for the most part, considered the most prestigious accreditation on an international scale. So we're proud to have that. Our last school is the School of Education, Health Professions, and Human Development. I love this school because it really is all about making people better, whether that's educating them or making them healthier, taking care of people. So if that is your spirit, if that's what you want to do with your life, then maybe you're going to get a degree like this. If you want to be an educator, if you want to be a teacher, we have an early childhood degree. So that certifies you everything from kindergarten to grade 6. If you're interested in a slightly more mature demographic, we also have grades 4 through 8 as its own certification. And then if you want to work with people just like you and just where you are in your life right now, we have a secondary ed degree, and it certifies you in grades 8 through 12. Within secondary ed, we do have a few other like add-ons, I guess that's what I would call them in the teaching world. If you want to teach English as a second language, which is tremendously valuable in Texas and in the South US, you can get that as a certification, and it's just for grades 8 through 12. But if you also want to be a special ed teacher, we have an all-level certification for that. Kinesiology is super, super popular with us, and it is probably our most rigorous health science curriculum on campus. So if you're interested in PT school or chiropractor school or even medical school, we have a pre-allied health program as well as an exercise sports science degree. If you're more interested in the business side, like the sports management side of things, you can get a kinesiology degree, but have that as a concentration. And then again, if you want to be an educator, if you want to work with students, you can be a PE coach or a health coach or a physical education teacher and get a kinesiology degree, which is a little bit different than getting an education degree. It's a lot more science-based, which is helpful. And then finally, we have health studies. I think sometimes students do have the caring spirit. They do want to take care of people. They're just not sure in what capacity, and health studies is a really good place to start because you get an overview of the healthcare system. And sometimes students decide that they want to be in the healthcare system, but they don't want to be healthcare providers, which I can definitely understand. Sometimes you have a caring spirit, but you don't like blood. And I think that's fair. So health studies might be a good option for you. All of these programs are very challenging in their own rights, and we want to make sure that whatever it is you choose to do, that you have all of the tools necessary to be successful. We talked a little bit earlier about student success coaches and what role they play in your first couple years in your degree plan. They use a couple of different online tools, and I don't want to frame this as it being like in response to COVID, we got these platforms, Read and Write and Upswing, because we've always used these. We've always been used to working with students on an online platform. So Read and Write is one of my favorite tools. It's a Google add-on. And I mean, you might be the type of student who can read something over and over and over and over again, and it's just words on a page. It's just 5 words and doesn't make a sentence. It doesn't mean anything to you, but the second you hear it, you're like, oh, I know what you're saying now. Like, I just needed to hear it. So if you're an auditory learner, or vice versa, if you can hear something and it just is in one ear and out the other, and it's not until you see it that you learn, like, that's what Read and Write is all about. It takes the study materials that are in your classroom that you're given from your professors or what you find online, and it will flip to whatever modality you learn in. And again, this is something that we've always used. It's not something in response to online learning. It's always been a tool available to students, so our success coaches are used to helping you navigate it. And then also we have a lot of tutoring services online. So we have the Student Success Center, which is in our campus in Victoria. And we do one-on-one tutoring, group tutoring, it face-to-face, but Upswing is an online option. And again, this is something that we've always had. Students can do one-on-one tutoring sessions online. They can do group tutoring sessions online, and it's just through a different platform. And again, these have always existed. This is not in response to COVID. It's something that we've always been comfortable with using. So the other reasons a student would pick UHV, I would say convenience is a really big option whenever, and this is true at any university. If you pick UHV, if you pick another institution, your basic needs are going to be met on campus. I just so happen to love the way UHV does it. So we talked about Jaguar Village, which is where all of our students who live on campus, where they choose to stay. On campus, Jaguar Village is actually a little bit removed from campus. So you have a bit of a commute to get to the main building. It's a walkable distance for sure, but we do have a campus shuttle service that runs every 15 minutes. So if you don't have a car, or if you don't want to walk the half a mile to campus, the shuttle service runs every 15 minutes. And I kind of like that. It's like an opportunity for you to see people who live in your village and who have the same class schedule as you, but maybe I don't have the same classes. So it's a way to get to know each other. The shuttle service also runs to the grocery store a couple times a week. So if you don't have a way to get around, we got you covered. We've got your ride. It's your personal Uber that is very loud and is a van, but also all of our students who live on campus, we don't have our own gym facility on campus, but the Y is in Victoria, and all students do have a free membership. If you live on campus, you can go to the Y for free. So the shuttle service will bring you to the Y Monday through Thursday at different times during the day. So you can get your fitness on and not have to gain the freshman 15, right? Which brings us to on-campus dining. Yeah, how you gain your freshman 15. So when you live on campus, you are required to have a meal plan. We have two main dining facilities on campus. The first one is kind of like our cafeteria. It's an all-you-care-to-eat style dining experience. And their whole motto is like real food on campus. So it's real food. It's not like the cafeteria food that you're used to in high school. And I'm not saying it's like home cooking, mama cooking, but it is really good. And you are not going to go hungry on campus. Whenever you have an on-campus meal plan, you're going to have meals in the cafeteria, but you're also going to have like JAG bucks, which is basically money that can go to a few different vendors on campus. So convenience stores, we have a Chick-fil-A on campus, we have a coffee shop on campus. So your JAG bucks will go towards that. And then this is our virtual convenience is in direct response to the pandemic. We are choosing to open up campus. We are allowing students to return to campus at the end of this month. But if a student doesn't want to, they don't have to. But that means that we have to be able to educate them, which means that we need a lot of online options. So all classes are going to be offered for this year, and I would imagine for the foreseeable future, we're going to have a virtual option for all of our courses. So if you are a student and you are excited about going to college and you do want to be on campus and you're worried, the hybrid traditional model modality might be the one for you. This is smaller in-person classes, but you needed a set schedule. So for example, Monday, Friday at 9 a.m., you'll go to your traditional classroom, but let's say Friday, you don't feel so good, but you don't want to miss class, you can log in online still at 9 a.m. on Friday, and you're going to see a live stream version of your class. So you can stay in your dorm or you can stay wherever and still be in class without having to physically be there. Real time online is a little bit more separated from the hybrid model. So it's still going to be a set class schedule. You still have to log in at a certain time, except it's only online. You're never going to have a classroom to go to. But you still get like that interaction with your students and with your professors. It's a lot like a webinar. It's a lot like what we're used to right now. And then traditional online, if you've ever taken an online class, it's definitely the most like free flowing, where you don't have a set class schedule, but you do have a set assignment schedule. So if you've ever taken an online class, in all likelihood within college, you'll take at least one traditional online class. It's exactly what it sounds like. You don't have a classroom to be in. You don't have a place to log into at a specific time. You just have assignments to turn in. I know it is just so strange to see a bunch of pictures of groups of people standing all close and loving on each other like it is in the student life slide. I look at it and think, oh my gosh, I can't wait to get back to that. But I know that some people, they don't. But if you're like me and you're looking for student life, you're looking to be a part of a community again, we're so ready for it to exist. Trust me, student life is a huge part of UHV. We have all of the traditions that a lot of universities do, but remember, we're small, so it's already on a smaller scale. we have so many student organizations on campus. So campus activities boards, student government associations, homecoming court, Jaguar Day, which is how every freshman starts their Jaguar weekend, which is how every student starts their like freshman year of college by getting to know each other and like exploring campus all together. We have like endless student organizations on campus. Some are academic based, so if you are a student and you're in a certain program and you just want to be involved in an academic student organization, there's tons of opportunity for that. But also if you're interested in something a little bit more silly, like a film association or foreign language club or I don't know, Harry Potter appreciation, whatever it is that you're interested in, there's probably a student that's there for you. Remember, we talked all about how UHV is a community and you're going to be encouraged right from the get-go to get involved. And we want you to make sure that you have tons of options so that you're able to join something that you're passionate about. Athletics is also a big part of UHV's traditions. We are a member of the NAIA Red River Conference, so it's a tier below Division II. Our students are athletes. They are our student athletes. They are also scholarship athletes. So we do have opportunities for students. Our teams available for men are baseball, soccer, and golf. And then for women's athletics, we have softball, soccer, and golf. Our baseball and soccer games and all softball games are all free to students. We have about a 65-acre like facility sports complex where all of those things are held. And y'all thought I forgot to talk about admissions requirements. Y'all thought I did, but I did not. I just find it kind of boring because I like to get everybody excited about how awesome UHV is. And then I want to tell you how awesome it is and then get you excited about getting in. So applications for fall 2021 are open. Because of the pandemic, we did go to test optional for the class of 2020. We don't have any intentions of bringing testing requirements back until the summer of 2022. So our temporary admissions requirements in response to being test optional are a cumulative unweighted GPA of 2.5, and then you have to graduate in the top 60% of your class. Now, if you don't have the GPA or if you're not in that class rank, we do have an admissions appeal option as well. But sometimes students, they don't have the GPA or they don't have that rank, but they do have a pretty okay test score. So if you do have the opportunity to take the ACT or the SAT, we will admit students based on the pre-COVID admissions criteria. And it's a 2 out of 3 model. So you have to have 2 of the 3 following criteria. So a cumulative unweighted GPA of a 2.0, graduate in the top 50% of your class, or have a minimum score of an 18 on the ACT or a 940 on the SAT. We have a few ways for you to experience UHV for yourself. So we have 3 preview days planned for the next academic year. The one in October is going to be virtual. We've already decided that, like, because of hurricanes, because of the flu, because of COVID, it's probably better to just stay in the online model since we're also comfortable with it now. So October 24th, if you are free, we would love to see you at Jaguar Day virtually. And then we'll have 2 more in the spring. There's one February 20th and another April 17th. We haven't decided whether or not those are going to be virtual. If the world is different, we would love to have students on campus again. If you are interested in details about our Jaguar Days, or if you just want to schedule a good old campus tour, the links are there. It's uhv.edu/jagday or /visit. And thank y'all so much. It was wonderful talking to y'all. If you have any questions, please let me know.